some of the stuff that we've started to put together. And so, you know, you take a look at this and you say to yourself, you know what, it's nice to concentrate on one individual as we are with Ray Gray, but it is important to hold the state's feet to the fire and say, you know what, you got to play fair. No matter how much you want to get a conviction on anybody, you got to play fair, because that's the only way the system works.
Sure, that is
a
correct.
quick follow-up. Go ahead, Fred.
No, I was just going to say, and quite frankly, in most instances, I'm one of the few people who actually say, I think the system does work.
Yeah.
In most instances it does, and sometimes mistakes are made, and sometimes they take a long time to rectify, but it works.
I agree.
You know?
Go ahead, Fred.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Real quickly before I get to Dr. Weck, this was in the early 70s. You're right. We were just coming out of the civil rights movement. There was still, this country still had a long way to move. How long did his trial last? And what kind of spirits is he in now? I mean, it's been 36 years. Obviously, a lot of things have gone through his mind.
Yeah, Ray is in great spirits. Ray Gray is one of the premier African-American painters in the United States. Before he even went to jail, he was a promising lightweight boxer, in addition to the fact that he had just been accepted to art school. So when he was arrested and tried and convicted in a matter of days, that's all it took was days.
Unbelievable.
Well, most trials do. They don't like most people see on TV that trials. You know, they go for weeks and on. You know, O.J. Simpson's was a year. No, but most normal trials only are from Monday to Friday, if that.
Absolutely. But I don't even think Ray's trial went that long. And so what occurred was that Ray was convicted very quickly under the felony murder doctrine then in place in the state of Michigan. And even during the sentencing, the judge said, you know what? He said, I really don't want to impose the maximum sentence, but I'm forced to under the law. Now, in this case also, for whatever reason, the defense attorney requested a bench trial. Now, personally, I wouldn't do that.
No, it's always best to jury.
Because all it takes is one person out of 12.
Right.
You can hang your jury. But this was a bench trial, and for whatever reason, the attorney at the time requested it, and for whatever reason, the judge refused to believe the eyeball witnesses that put Mr. Gray someplace else at the time of the homicide.
I got to get to Sarah Weck right here. Your book, A Question of Murder, which we'll get into in the future here. Great book. I just got him this weekend. Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah, your thoughts now. Again, do you think this was, you know, a kangaroo court? It went through really fast. And do you think Mr. Gray will get a retrial?
Well, you know, I just learned for the first time that this was before a judge, and that's, you know, another thing to consider here. And the fact that eyewitness account was set aside and so on, the whole thing really has a very, very bad odor to it. I think if Mr. Rosen continues in his efforts, and if they can nail down this lost affidavit from many, many years ago, and if they can prove, absolutely prove, that fingerprint evidence was withheld, then I think there is a good chance that there could be a new trial. If they cannot prove that evidence was withheld, and it's just something that somebody thinks, and it is likely, and so on, that will not suffice.
Fred, we're down to a couple minutes. Joe Cocker here. Your book, Deadly Angel, hits the market on June 30th. You can get that at Amazon. What's the next step here? I talked to Kim Worthy, her office today. They were very friendly. You said they've been very open. Do you just let the process continue? I mean, that almost sounds unfair to Mr. Gray, but you just let it continue to run and just see how it plays out? Or is there anything anybody else could do, or you just got to let the system play out and his attorney take care of business?
Well, I think it's up to us in this group that I call the M9, because there's 9 of us in totally. I think it's up to us to complete the process of putting together the evidence that the Wayne County authorities have asked for, and then ask them to make a determination. And of course, we're hoping that they will give Mr. Gray a new trial, or perhaps even exonerate him. But in the end, it all comes down to what the prosecutor is going to decide to do. And my hope is that in the state of Michigan, which was the first state in the United States to outlaw capital punishment, and still does, of course, is that they will be progressive enough to realize that there are many errors in this situation, and at worst, Mr. Gray deserves a new trial.
Fred Rosen from New York, Cyril Rick in Pennsylvania. Fred, you were here back several months ago. You and I talked. It looked like he may get a retrial. You were in town for that. What happened at that moment that kind of delayed things?
What happened at that moment that what?
Yeah. We thought, you said you were in Detroit to see possibly somebody, exonerated here. Did something getting away there? Was there a stumbling block?
Well, the stumbling block is just really gathering the information. We've come a very long way in about 6 months, and the stumbling block has actually been in tracking down, as everybody knows. When you're dealing with a cold case, you not only have situations where people are dead, but you literally have to track them down from place to place, and so that's been not a source of difficulty, but it's certainly taken a bit of time. But we have an ace private investigator that we're working with who's part of our team, and it's helped us to track down some of the individuals. For example, we needed to track down the individual that took the affidavit that actually of the gentleman who claims he was part of the actual murder, and the guy that took the affidavit, we needed to find him, and we have, which was something the police asked for. We've also had people who re-interviewing witnesses, so it actually has just taken. It's the system has to take some time to
Definitely.
work. But now all of the information is going to the Wayne County prosecutor, and we're hoping that Ms. Worthy will find the case worthy enough to either give Mr. Gray a new trial or perhaps exonerate him.
In 15 seconds, Cyril, Fred Rosen, this sounds like he's really done his work, and he is really reaching out to Ray Gray. I think he's done just about everything possible.
Yes, he has. And it's commendable. It's a kind of a break that a lot of prisoners would like to get during their long, extended sentences.
Absolutely, 36 years. 1 year is too long, but 36 years, unbelievable. Fred, do me a favor. If and when you do come back to Michigan, or this something changes and we haven't seen it in the paper, please contact us and let us know, and we'd like to even be there.
Well, first off, I want to thank you, and I want to thank your guests for your interest. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm sure Mr. Gray appreciates it. And when you're in jail and you've been there for a long time, it is hard to keep up your spirits. He's done that. He has been a model prisoner. He is contributing to society even behind bars. But just to have you gentlemen take the time to talk about this is a wonderful thing. So on behalf of our group and on behalf of Mr. Gray, I thank you very much.
Please let everyone know that's involved in this case that we are airing this, and we will continue to run this. People can contact us at Right From the Author.
I sure will.
At yahoo.com, and also 586-258-2000. We'd like to hear from you. Fred, don't be a stranger. We'd like to have you back. Cyril, you're a regular here. You really contributed to the show. Question of Murder is your book. Deadly Angel, Fred Rosen. I suggest both good reads. Jeff, it was a great show.
Thanks again.
Gentlemen, thank you both very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll find out what
Mr.
really
Rosen.
happened. We'll talk to you again next time. For Jeff, I'm Joe Cocker. You've been watching Right From the Author. Good evening.
Good night.